Short of my family, I love this sport as much as anything. However, the future of game shooting in the modern world is ambiguous to say the least. In today's film, I want to touch on a few topics that concern the future of shooting and its accessibility. Enjoy.
Welcome back to heaven, guys. Done a little bit of work to me going for this day, so it might be a little bit better than the last. Overcast, forecast 50-mile-an-hour winds later as well. Hope you enjoy this as much as we do. If we can hit them, that is, obviously. If we can hit them. Let's get the nervous bit out of the way, shoot a bird. We're gonna have a few partridges coming out of here. It's overcast, currently blowing about 20 mile an hour. Forecast of 50, like I said. Let's get one on the deck, get the nerves out of the way, and enjoy the day. We had a really interesting conversation on the way down about what the future of shooting holds. And it's a very interesting one, that whether all of this get-up, you know, the tie, the tweed, the things that we wear, A, to enjoy the game, and you know, wear a tie obviously to respect the game, and this kind of thing, and people will obviously comment saying, oh, it should be unnecessary, about how maybe there should be days where there is no uniform allowed, like gateway days, because inevitably everyone's going to start wearing this when they get there, because it is the most practical stuff to shoot in. Bricks allow you to move, they're warm, they're waterproof, there's some great stuff about them. Whether there's actually any room for this kind of thing in the future of shooting, you know, we all talk about accessibility and getting new people into this, and this is a large barrier to it. As much as I wear this as a mark of pride and as the uniform of a shooter, and for the practical and general enjoyment of putting on your tweed in the morning, part of the ritual, I'd be interested to know your thoughts on whether it is actually good for the future of shooting for us to all look quite so archaic, or whether there is a more technical aspect that we can bring in to turn it into more of a acceptable thing. Ant's doing a bit of shooting. So I'm genuinely in two minds as to whether that is beneficial for the future of shooting. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that everyone's going to qualify to in the end, but I feel like there should be a gateway where nobody's going to judge you or think about you wearing something that isn't a full suit of tweed. Anyway, there's some partridge coming. Need to focus on shooting them, not chalking. Lovely little drive that, lovely little bit. Missed my first two, too busy talking to Sasha. Next three, bang, bang, bang. Lovely drive, absolutely loved it. Nothing quite like shooting partridges, apart from shooting an all-driven game, because it's all equally as brilliant. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a slow gin, a little bit of a warm up in the car, and go do some more. Oh, very luckily been stood for a couple of drives this morning, which is very generous as always by these guys. Fingers crossed. We're actually a bit of a backgun on this one. You've got the main line, hoofs round over there. Put a couple of guys who had a bit less shooting out in the middle. I had plenty enough just then, so it's out of the way. Watch. And I reckon it's about 60 yards to the hedgerow. It's a push, but if something's coming down it towards Ant, it'd be a shame not to give it a go. Anyway, you know, we see a lot of people asking for more kids to be taught about shooting. And I genuinely feel like that's the wrong approach. Not that they shouldn't, but the parents will teach kids what they want, you know. As a parent, you get to train your child in whatever you'd like. So it seems more intelligent to target young adults with young families. But say target. convert. That's the conversion you want. People who can go out beating, go out shooting, get into pigeon shooting, get into clay shooting. Hi, Ant. And that to me seems much more logical than telling kids about the countryside, because kids probably don't care unless it's repeated within their lives. And the only way to do that is to make it a habitual thing for a family or a parent to do. I mean, I didn't get into shooting for my father, but I got into shoot countryside because of him, right? But everybody I know who's really, truly passionate, honestly loves this, lives for it. It has been something in their life since they were very small. I know that can swing both ways, because obviously kids rebel, but anyway, birds are coming.
My baby, just 3 weeks to go. The rain is falling wildly, but the moon is still aglow. And tomorrow there'll be sunshine, and the garden will be green. We'll lay a bed of lilies for you to dream. My baby, just 3 weeks to go. Your mother's singing softly.
Yeah, they're fighting the wind hard. Some are catching it and going about 100 miles an hour, and others are going and they just stop in the air. As a very wise man once said, if it's in my airspace, the bird doesn't care, shoot it. You never know when the last person you're going to shoot is. Providing it's not too low and it's safe, obviously. Over the top. Ready? Oh, only the partridge were brave in the wind there. Had a go at some speculative pheasants, but luckily Ant's over there, he finished them off. Great fun. Great fun. Anyway, Ant will take on the mantle of telling you all about the future of shooting just now. Be interested to get his opinion. Oh, it was lovely. Unbelievable. Well, they were getting up and like, this is going to be a great bird for me, and it started turning up. I'm going to have a go at you anyway. That one bird shot was exceptional, mate. How you shooting, mate? 3 to 1?
Yeah, 3 to 1, mate.
3 to 1, Ant? Yeah.
Are we at 1 for 1, 1.2, 1.3?
Oh, we're up there today, mate. When I shoot.
These birds are stonking, and they're not low in any regard.
This wind is absolutely howling. They were going for it. Big time.
I noticed there's a lot of second barrel kills. Hit, give it an extra 3 foot,
And
kill.
Yeah.
I watched that from you quite a few times, but it was wonderful to watch, mate.
Yeah, good.
Wonderful watch.
Well, I've had my fill now, so I better go beat you.
The big question, and we've talked about it a few times, is what is the future of game shooting? Whether it's accessibility, teaching the youth, anything like that. But don't answer it now. You've got to do it on peg.
Okay.
Just to distract you.
Is that your excuse to the last drive?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll stand next to you and be like, yeah, whilst you're turning around talking, have them over your head or try.
All right, mate. Try.
I think what we've got to really think about with the future of game shooting is probably our image, getting what we do out there, because we're told for years to keep our heads down, not tell anybody what we do, and I think what we do is great, and if people understood what we did, then they would accept us a lot more. You know, and there's a lot worse people out there than us and what we do, and I think because it's politically incorrect to have a go at different religions for what they do or different traditions, then we're the ones that are catching the flack for it. But realistically, when we look at what we do, it's a great thing. It's a great thing for the countryside, it's a great thing for wildlife, and it's a great thing for the habitat. So I think we need to portray that in a better light to more people. And once we get that out there, I think there'll be a lot more people that don't look on us as bad men or bad women. We're going to face a lot of heat over this, you know, the whole, not just game shooting, but the whole meat industry is facing a lot over this you know, vegan January. You've got to remember that people's livelihoods depend on people eating meat. And thinking it's cool not to eat that could be putting a family out of the home or business out of business, you know. Anyway, enough of that. We're here on the third drive. On the last drive, I managed to get 3 of Johnny's birds that he missed. So that's me, 3-0 up today. And by the looks of it, we've got, who's next to us? Ginge. We've got Ginge next to us. So that basically means I've got 2 pegs, you know. Ginge isn't going to hit much. So I've got 2 pegs worth of birds. Hopefully I'll not be anywhere near Johnny for the rest of the day, and I'll win 3-0 today. Game on, Johnny lad. Game on.
I'd say, all things considered, you kept your hit ratio nice and high.
Yeah, I think I killed plenty there, mate, for what I shot at.
100% success rate.
Unfortunately, mate, you get punished for being a good shot in some places.
Yeah, tell them what you said.
So, because I shot well on the first 2 drives, they put me out on the side, out the way, so I don't kill anymore. And true to form, we didn't get a shot, mate. But,
And this is the first announcement of the Cruelty to Gamekeepers Association.
It is cruelty to gamekeepers, yeah, it's cruelty to gamekeepers. If you can shoot, you get punished for it.
For just £2 a month, you can help a gamekeeper like me to get a shot on a boundary day. And we've got pompous southern snobs like Johnny Carter stealing his birds. If you look just to the right, you'll see him there. And any birds that may present themselves in front of me will be shot before they get to me. Please, if you've got just £1 spare, help me. I just hit a woodcock. Alright, I'll keep going. He dropped somewhere here and he was running downhill last I saw him. Yeah, just that Mr. Carter's obviously feeling bad. Now he's been put into the media about it, and he kindly left 2 mile-high woodcock for me to shoot at, which he knew wouldn't, wouldn't be killable. But to help it all out, he's just missed another cockbird and I just killed it. So that's 4-0 to me. Sorry, Johnny. Johnny just lifted the woodcock curse. Johnny, coming back! And that one's dead. 3 pheasants and a woodcock. Missed 2 woodcock and I missed the pheasant you missed. Because I missed it and I was like, no, Johnny's gonna shoot, and then you went bang bang. I was like, yes, you can miss 2.
As always, we've had an absolutely amazing day. We're just going to knock this little bit of wood through as our last drive. We've been really well blessed. We actually got to shoot one of the proper drives earlier, and some of those birds were unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're allowed a couple of pheasants apiece in this last one, but just to take it easy. As I said, we're well up on the bag. We've had such an amazing day, like I said. Just shot a pigeon and pulled feathers out of it, and it's days like that where you wish you had the Mark 38 out. Ant commented earlier that I don't shoot this as well as my Mark 38. So he's having a great day being pegged next to me, finishing off or killing the things that I've been missing. There's one of the feathers from my pigeon.
He seems very proud that he's managed to get a few of your birds.
He really does seem very proud, and I'm really grateful for his company as always, or else we wouldn't.
Support his foundation though?
I'm not going to support his foundation. I've been very kind to him by missing all morning and allowing him to finish off 4 of the pheasants that I've missed. And that's why we do what we do, for moments like that. It's hard, isn't it? I just said to him, we're going up to Yorkshire next week, and I'd love to take the Mark 38, but I also should persist with this and get it fitted, and it's just a very different way to shoot a gun. And some birds I'm a lot better at it with, but long crossing stuff I'm still finding my feet. Anyway, let's go. Squirrel. Oh, almost at the end now. I've had one out of my 2 pheasant quota. I pricked a pigeon. Oh, woodcock coming back. And that was today. What a day, eh? What a lovely day. 2 pheasants down on that drive. Happy with that. Headshot. Happy when that happens.
My thanks go to Paul and Chubsy for putting on such an amazing event for us. These little days, where they're just a little bit less formal, just allow for a lot more fun. There's no stress involved, and they really make for my favourite days of the year by far. As for the future of shooting, well, I think it's clear that nobody really knows the answers, but certainly doing nothing is not an option. Keeping it as a secret club, that's not really a great idea either. And I think there's a lot of people to blame for that, whether it be sort of closed syndicates, dead man's shoes syndicates, whether it's estates that won't allow filming, photography or any PR. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because with those who are out to get us, we don't want to be sort of putting ourselves out there for flack. But if we don't put ourselves out there, no one's going to see what we do, the fun that we have, and the joy that it brings to so many people. The question thereafter is how we do represent ourselves. And I think there's a lot of false representation out there. If the images and videos and pictures and stories that we share are not a true representation of what we actually do, then what's the point? I'm putting out this sort of plain vanilla marketing sort of stuff that a lot of the organisations do. That's not really doing anything either, because who wants to go and do something that is marketed as unexciting? So what are we? That self-realisation is the hard part, isn't it? Is why do we wear the tweed? Why do we wear the ties? And how do we get that across to people as to why they should do the same? Certainly less formal days should be a thing. Everyone's going to end up wearing tweed in the end anyway. A bit like every stalker ends up wearing bloody Harkila Pro Hunter. It's just the way of things. If you go to the gym with no intentions of wearing gym gear, you will inevitably start wearing gym gear by the end of your experience. There's always going to be those who probably will never be converted. The very concept of hanging out in the countryside on private estates is pretty anti-liberal. So trying to get uber-liberal people into shooting is not really going to be an easy task. And if anyone has any ideas on that, I'd love to hear them. As it stands, if there's anything I can do to help anybody who's looking to get into this, drop us a line, drop us a comment below, and we'll be in touch. Shooting doesn't have to be expensive. This sort of day we went on today was not a huge amount of money. As I said, the bottom line is just not to not do anything at all, and to invite your friends out beating, shooting, loading, clay shooting, go for a walk in the countryside and show off your passion. And I understand that that's hard because we get these little niches of countryside friends, and I'm probably just as guilty as any man of doing exactly that. Having a niche of your countryside, your shooting pals, and where there's only 8 pegs on a day, those 8 pegs generally go to the same people, right? Try and invite somebody who's not from the countryside, and then try, if you can, to not put your stigmas upon them, and just be accepting of their ignorance. The problem is for those of us who are brought up in this world, it is us. We are it. But for those people who aren't necessarily from the same backgrounds and the same families, it all seems very, very alien. Take your boundaries down, stop judging people who aren't quite as au fait with pointing your gun at the wrong bloody bird. Just have a damn good time with new people. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Goodbye. And we'll see you next time.